Alrighty, this is going to be kind of a free range because there are various things going on in Star Trek land this week. First, we get the announcement after the first episode that Star Trek Discovery has been renewed for a fourth season. Now, one, this makes me wonder if CBS has a death wish of some sort, because the show is not picked up in any kind of thing. It's just made more people more divided. But I'm thinking, because I recall it was during, I think, an Inquisition thing where I remember hearing something a few weeks back about this season being split into 2 seasons because they still haven't quite worked out the ending yet. And I think, wait a minute, that might be it right there. It's not that they're making any more. It's that they're taking what they've got and we're putting off the last few episodes till next year, or at least till November, so we can spend more time figuring this crap out that you got us in the middle of, Kurtzman. So, yes, technically 4th season. You got to get past the original series. You got to get that 4th season in there. We can't be seen to be less than. Even though the episode count on this thing is, even if you total it all up, all 3 or 4 seasons, it's going to be less than a season and a half of the original series. So, we've been too long of thinking one season is equal. No, one season is not equal to another. First season of original series was 29 episodes, and that was the same all the way. They didn't start cutting back to Enterprise, and it was still like 26, 24, something. It was still over 20 episodes this season. They're doing less than half for like 3 times the money. I think we're gonna go with the thing that they're just taking this season and splitting it up so they can do a little more work on it. But they got to air something, so we'll get maybe 4 or 5 seasons, or 4 or 5 episodes in this one, and then or maybe even 8 or 9, and then it'll wrap up next season as a big event, and they probably have to stretch out things. So let's not get too excited about what are they thinking. I think they're thinking they're going to take what they can and stretch it a bit. In other Star Trek news, Kirstie Alley has made no secret of her support for the president over the past several months, and finally just come out and said, "No, wait, played a right certain." Now, while I have issues with Kirstie Alley and certain things, but these are things of her business, and I'm not going to hold her responsible for what she, holds to, personal-wise. But I find it rather ironic that the last episode of Lower Decks, they went back to Beta 3, where the population had gone back to worshipping Land Rovers, or at least some population, because there was no Red Hour, no festival, so it wasn't a total thing, And yet, within a few days, within a week or so, you have Marina Sirtis with her "You're dead to me" tweet to Kirstie, essentially saying, "You are not of the body." And I might just tweet that, but I got a feeling the irony might be lost on her. But I'm going to do it anyway, because someone will get it. Because on the one, what would Roddenberry think of this? We're at about the point where he'd be pushing 100 right now. Which, if he hadn't abused himself, he very well may have made. Because his other family members were very long-lived. His mom was at his funeral, okay? It helped that she had him at 16, but his older brother was at this funeral, okay? He had a very strong genetic structure there to be able to withstand the amount of abuse he put himself through. But if a healthy, sane Gene Roddenberry could look at what has been doing in the name of his creation, that's another thing. They're talking about bringing back DS9. At first, we need a little more DS9. But on the second, no. If Kurtzman's in charge, no, absolutely not. Do not let him anywhere near that show. And I would hope that, hopefully, Ira Bear and Rob Moore would step up and say, "No, not without us, and not without us in charge. We don't want this idiot anywhere near our work." And hopefully, the other actors on there, because the cast of DS9, for the most part, had a very singular connection with their characters. Nana Visitor particularly because she grew up as a dancer. She came up as a dancer on stage, and she was so convincing. Want to do kind of a routine where Kira does it. She'd love to, but she was convinced Kira had 2 left feet. She could not dance. So that kind of okay. She's that much into the character. And interviews with Avery Brooks about what being in Star Trek meant to him, and playing Sisko. He doesn't play him as a black captain. He plays him as a captain. Yeah. I would think that if they try and rope these guys back in one, they also try and do it without Odo or Nog. I mean, Odo is already effectively written out. He's back with the Founders. You can have a dispatch here and there, maybe get a sound-alike voice actor to do the lines over radio. But if you've seen the documentary What We Left Behind, the writers get back. Ira and Ron and Renee and Robert, they all get back, and they start breaking the first few episodes, of a theoretical season 8. I don't know if it's one episode. I think they do 2 or 3 episodes, an arc. Get up to the point where Sisko comes back in a blaze of glory. And these guys could still do it. Get them in there. Yeah, fine. We'll watch in droves. We'll easily make Discovery's numbers look like, a line at a lemonade stand. But if you get Kurtzman in charge, no. That's war. That is where open warfare is declared. Because some of us at the time declared it, and a lot of come into late. But DS9 is probably the fullest expression of Star Trek, in the sense that they actually delved into these stories, especially when Berman was busy playing with Voyager, and Ira and Renee were left to play with themselves. That became a bad, but they were left in charge of the sandbox, and they ran the things, and they really went into it. The difference being Ira Stephen Bear and Ronald Moore and Robert Hewitt Wolf, and they're hardcore Star Trek fans. They worked on The Next Generation under Gene Roddenberry. They know the stuff. They know the rules and how to successfully break them. Kurtzman, on the other hand, doesn't know, doesn't care, rampages through, doesn't even know basic science, for Christ's sakes. And he's in charge of a science fiction franchise that was the envy of Hollywood. I don't know if it is now. They've so destroyed the value of the thing. But no, if they try and bring back DS9, no, then that's it. It's war. Okay. I will do everything I can to shout things like, this is not it. This is a betrayal of everything Star Trek ever thought to hold dear. And Marina, it's like I tweeted to Kirsty's Twitter feed. I hope that Star Trek Titan becomes an actual show, and that Admiral Savick becomes a semi-regular character just to drive Marina Sirtis up the wall. And I thought about putting an addendum in there too. And I also hope West Ham wins the cup, because she's a big Tottenham, Hotspur fan. And that would just rub her right. All right. So with that, I got a job interview in a couple hours online. I'm not going. I might change shirts, but I don't know. Superman's nice, noble, upstanding thing. Should be good with Enterprise. It'd be the same job I was doing in Orlando, so I'm pretty confident on that one. I think it'll look okay. I might get a polo shirt out for it, but with that, and if we get that nailed, then things should radically change. Hopefully, get us into a place rather quickly. Unfortunately, I have to tow the truck on behind us because there's not enough time to get the financing available to get it working yet. But the place I want to get us back to is within walking distance of a light rail station, so I can still get out to the airport. I take a light rail anyway. Driving all the way out to the airport's halfway to Kansas. But anyway, to that end, we need about 5,000. I'm just flat out saying, not really begging, but we're getting some of it in line here, but about $5,000 really to get the Explorer fixed. It needs a new engine. So again, PayPal's the big thing now, because Patreon takes forever. They take a small bite. Super chats AOL takes a third of it, and I don't see it maybe next month, maybe at the end of the, maybe next month, because they're screwing around with everything here. So PayPal's the big you want to push on that. So, but anyway, there's your links. That's your thing. We will talk to you later.